last games. I think we control better the game, the momentum of how to attack, when to attack. We control quite well transitions from Crystal Palace, but you know that they will have some situations because they are expecting to win that ball for transitions. We create some chances. We suffer 2 goals that we can avoid. Danger from Licha was hard on the team. So I think we play better than some games, but the result now you don't taste nothing good in this moment, but we are going to use for the next game.
Obviously not the result you wanted, but also a situation with Lisandro there, which was awful to watch sort of from the outside looking in. How is he, and is there any sort of update on him?
I think we are going to see in the next days, but I think it's a serious situation. He's really hard on us. He's not just a great player, but he's a strong character in the dressing room, and specifically in this moment he's hard on us. But now it's time for us, all of us, to help Licha like he helps us every day.
Seemed to shake everybody up as well, because he's not the kind of person who would react like that and be as upset as he was.
He felt it. And when you are a player, you know that when he's serious. Let's hope for better days for him. We are here, like I said, to help him in this difficult moment.
We wish him well. In another way today, you tried something with Kobbie Mainoo as a more forward-thinking player in that sort of front position. Why was that, and what did you make of how it worked?
We had some games without a lot of connections, with difficulty to transport the game for the last third, to stay more in the half of the opponent, and I think we did it today. We create some chances. Kobbie gave us connections to bring the ball. We had more time to think the plays, because it was hard for them to find the players to press. So was in that, I think that idea worked in that moment. But when we don't win the game, like I said, we don't have any taste of good things. We'll have it tomorrow.
Clear frustration from the fans as well at full time, but how do you inject the positivity now into the games ahead and get the players playing the way you want to play?
It's quite normal for the fans to feel that way. It's a really hard season for the fans. The only thing that I know all to help is to focus on the next game and know that football can change in certain moments. We had a momentum before this game, then now we go a little bit down again. I will do the same thing, is prepare the next game, work on the way that we have been working on our idea, and move forward. Better days will come.
Ruben, thank you.
Sometimes you don't get what you deserve out of games, and there were some real improvements in there today that maybe won't get spotted because of the result.
Yeah, but we have to keep that good moments into work on the next game, because when you don't win, don't feel nothing. You can do a better performance than the last game that we won, but that doesn't matter now, because we have that feeling that we lost again and disappointed for our fans. But we have to keep forward, using the good things and think about the next game.
What were the good things that you're talking about there? What did you see out of it?
I think we control better the game than before, than the other games. We had more time to build the plays. We create situations. We were near the goal, near the box. Control quite well the opponent. Of course, they have quality players for transitions, but we suffered 2 goals that we can avoid for sure. And then when you suffer a goal and then the injury from Licha, all that things together is hard for the team. But we, like I said, move forward and think about the next game.
Do you have any news on Licha yet?
No, I think he's going to be seen by the doctor, but I think it's a serious situation, so it's really bad for our team.
What's next steps now for this week? Obviously, you've got a little bit of time before Friday. Is it back on the training pitch and trying to drill some of this stuff again?
That is clear. We're going to work hard and prepare the next game. It's really hard. It's really important for us. But we move forward, believing that these things are going to change.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, so disappointment here at Old Trafford as Manchester United are defeated. A horrible way for it to happen. Phil, what do you think of that performance?
Yeah, first half I thought was comfortable, had plenty of possession without obviously not being too clinical in scoring goals. Thought we got in some really good areas, but just couldn't find the breakthrough. And then and second half, obviously a different story. I thought we was off the pace compared to the first half. I thought there was a chance for us to take the game on and go into second gear and take the game to Palace, but it was the other way around, and struggled with set pieces, and it's punished us again today.
After this today, Palace are now unbeaten in their last 8 Premier League away games. It's basically their longest run without a defeat on the road. And what do you think this team needs to do to try and stop other teams getting records like that?
Well, obviously do the basics well. I think obviously it's been our Achilles heel all season, is obviously defending set pieces, and I think obviously today we've been punished again from one. Obviously the first phase, second phase. But I think second half, I thought Mateta was a real handful, and it often happens in games when you go one down and you're chasing the game and you're trying to obviously to get the equaliser. You get done on the counter, and we've certainly done that. But if we've been brutally honest, we didn't stay with the runners. As soon as he breaks the line and gets beyond our defence, there it's a pretty easy square pass to Mateta, which is, it's unfortunate. It's frustrating because obviously, like I said, off the back of the first half performance, it was positive. We had a couple of chances and the energy was there. Unfortunately, second half it just wasn't.
You can be frustrated with it, especially when you look at the statistics of that game. So Manchester United had a total of 18 shots, but only 2 of them were on target. Yeah,
it's disappointing. Obviously, that's what that's the bread and butter. That's where you find margins in football, is scoring goals, and finding it hard to come by at the minute is goals. And you could see today, obviously, Mainu playing a more advanced role in that false 9 position, but obviously I thought he did okay there. But obviously you got 2 centre forwards on the bench. Obviously must be scratching their head, wondering why they're not getting a run out. But the manager is obviously picked his system, which obviously worked really well first half. But obviously the strikers have to start coming to the party if we're going to start scoring and winning games.
It was gutting to see Lisandro Martinez get that injury. Obviously, we don't know what the outcome of that is, but it was warming to see every single player go around him, the fans applaud him off. What do you think of it?
Yeah, it's obviously really disappointing because he's obviously had his fair share of injuries since he's been at the club. But it's concerning the way he went down. Obviously, he clutched his knee. We don't know too much about the injury yet. It's just obviously speculation that it might be his knee. But for the period of time that he was down, it looked pretty serious. So, yeah, hopefully it's not serious. Touch wood, because he's a key player for us. But yeah, it didn't look too good, and hopefully we wish him well. Hopefully he's on the mend pretty soon.
Well, he will be in the best hands as well. We've seen the first team physiotherapy team walking off with him. We've got all the tech at Carrington Training Complex. He'll get a scan straight away. It's good that we have that care with the backroom staff, isn't it? Yeah,
of course, and it's a process. I don't think obviously it's good to get the diagnosis straight away of what it is. He's in great hands of, like you say, the physios and the doctors. But obviously, depending on what the actual injury is, like you said, they've got the facilities at the training ground where they hopefully can get, diagnosis of what it is, and then he can get on the road to recovery. Like I say, in recent weeks, he's been a big part for our team, scoring goals as well. So it's disappointing to lose him today, but hopefully it's not too serious. But it did look quite bad.
He was part of the group of players that were creating chances for us today. Agate, Cobby, Hoyland, they all took part in trying to get us a goal. Why do you think that didn't happen today, especially off the back of a great week for Manchester United?
Yeah, it's just frustrating. I think you get into key areas of the pitch and you've got to be clinical, Zara. I think we often got in areas where we were putting crosses in, little link-up playing around the box. We just couldn't find that breakthrough. And I think towards, obviously you go one down, I think your tactics probably change. I think we went direct a little bit too much to try and obviously get the equaliser, and I think we played into Palace's hands there. I think obviously defensively they've got some big lads in around the box and defending, putting high balls into the box probably wasn't the answer, but like I say, we often puffed, we just couldn't find a breakthrough.
I mean, educate me if it happened in your playing days, but Did you ever think that there's a different mindset when you have a bit of a bogey team there? Because Manchester United are winless in their last 4 Premier League games against Palace. Do you think there's something to do with that, maybe?
Oh, no, I wouldn't read too much into it. I think obviously you have to show credit to them as well. Over the last couple of years, they've been a difficult opponent for us. But I'd fully expect us to come here today and beat this Palace side. I don't think it's the Palace side of yesteryear. I think, yeah, they've got some good players, individuals. I think Eze come off the bench today. I thought he was obviously outstanding when he come on. Obviously, first goal come from his cross. But they've got good players. There's no doubt about it. But it's the fixture that I'd expect us to come here today and win.
Especially when you've seen that starting lineup. We spoke about the differences that could happen there. We've obviously got Kobbie Mainoo in that role that people were talking about pretty much as to what was happening. It was a nice experiment. Do you think that that's going to happen again in the next game?
I thought he done okay, to be fair, but when you're looking at the game overall, and you're probably looking where your goals are coming from. Obviously, if you're playing a midfield player as a false 9. Obviously, you're not 100% sure if he's going to be in them areas where a striker would be. But I think he done okay. I thought, like I say, first half we was decent. We created enough chances to try and get a goal. But yeah, you look to the bench, and if he was a striker and there's a midfielder playing in front of you, centre forward, you'd be disappointed. That's natural. But like I say, just disappointing overall, because I felt, obviously coming off the back of 3 wins. Coming into this game today, I was really confident, and it's just disappointing that we've lost again.
Yeah, it is disappointing. Now let's head pitch sides to get some thoughts from Sully and Danny.
Yeah, thanks a lot. So huge disappointment around this stadium. You can just feel from all of the fans here that they're absolutely gutted about the result today. And arguably we're even more gutted about seeing Lisandro Martinez stretchered off, because like Zara and Bardo were chatting in the studio there, it's the worst sight to see one of your players taken off in that way. And thoughts with him right now. I know we're trying to digest the result, but first and foremost, let's think about Martinez, and hopefully it's not too bad an injury.
No, listen, it looked bad when anybody gets stretchered off, especially somebody as tough as him, you would say. It's bad. You would think, you hope that it's as good as it can be when the doctor assesses it and so on, but you fear the worst for him, in fairness. And it's unfair, because he's had numerous injuries with his foot before, he's come back, and obviously he's got injured again today. And you never want to see people in that position. So yeah, of course, that's the disappointing part for today, or one of.
Well, we can't speculate exactly what the injury is or how long he might be out for. Let's just wait until the specialists come back with that information. But certainly thoughts are with him right now. It's going to be tough for the Argentinian in the short term.
From Old Trafford, so it's Liverpool, Tottenham, Nottingham Forest, Bournemouth, Newcastle, Brighton, and now Crystal Palace have all won at Old Trafford in the Premier League this season. How would you assess Manchester United's performance this time around?
I think the overall performance was actually good until they got to the final third. They started off really well, they got into good areas, but they just don't have that cutting edge. They need a striker, they're desperate for a striker, and they played Mainoo there today as a false 9. It worked for about 10 minutes, but then Crystal Palace sorted it out. They had Lerma and Hughes in there, cutting out them passing lanes, which obviously nullified his threat. Again, they were doubling up on Diallo, their danger man. Fernandes didn't really have a say in the game. Fair play to Crystal Palace. They were organised, determined, patient, but then they broke really fast. Sarr was a problem all day, and Mateta got 2 goals. Again, handful, but a very, very good player.
The decision to play Kobbie Mainoo then as a false 9, to not start with either Højlund or Xerxes, which I think is the first time that Ruben Amorim has chosen to do that. Do you get the sense that he is still searching for his best 11, still searching for the best solution for this season for Manchester United?
100%. I said, before the game even started, I feel like all of these players are on trial. The only players that I see in this squad at the moment that he actually likes and relies on is Amad Diallo, Bruno Fernandes and Ugarte. They're the only players that he looks at, in my opinion, and says, these players I want in my future squad. He said in the beginning, it's going to be painful. It's not going to be nice. I'm trying out players in new positions. Mainu, again, he's never played, I don't know, but he's never played as a striker, definitely in his professional career. And in his playing there today, he's done his best, but he's just not, he don't have that striker's instinct to be in there when the ball's coming across the box to get those tap-ins. Obviously, Man United need that desperately. They've got another injury. Martinez, it looks like a really bad one. He came off the pitch crying. There's just so much. It's funny because I say there's so much good in today's game, but then there's a lot of bad as well. And the bad is that they've had 67% possession. They've had 18 shots. They've had 2 shots on target, 11 corners. You would expect with those kind of numbers, there should be goals. And there just wasn't. There's just no cutting edge. And then when you look at Crystal Palace, they're the opposite. Well drilled. They were happy for Man United to have the ball, but then they broke and they was clinical.
Well, I mean, that's the irony, isn't it, that we're talking about Manchester United lacking a focal point and a recognised number 9. There's a guy on the other side who scored twice today, taking his tally to the season to 10 in Jean-Philippe Mateta, who would be, and I'm not trying to sell him to Manchester United, but that sort of player, with the record he's had, particularly since Oliver Glasner came in at Crystal Palace, is exceptional, isn't it?
Yeah, I was saying before the game started, I spoke to Mark Bright, who works at Crystal Palace, and he said that Mateta is one of their most important players, I think, alongside Eze. But the way Crystal Palace play, they need someone like that up front, gets hold of the ball. He can run in behind as well. He's a very good finisher. And today, he showed all his attributes. They had Sarr again, who's, running in behind. He runs off Mateta really well, and then Eze come on to do the same thing right at the end there. But ultimately, Crystal Palace are a well-drilled side. They know what they're good at. They know they're not going to outplay other teams, especially the likes of Man United, Arsenal, Chelsea's. But they're difficult to break down, and then they're clinical on the break.
What do Manchester United do then, and aware that they've only got about 33 hours to do anything? But do you just, if you're Ruben Amorim, do you continue this carousel of trying different things, whether it's Kobbie Mainoo in that position, whether it's one of your 2 recognised centre-forwards every week? You could play potentially Bruno Fernandes as a false 9 if you wanted to. Or are you now going to this whole swathe of people that are looking after football operations at Manchester United and saying, I need someone else before tomorrow? Not too long ago, they got Odion Ighalo on a loan for the second half of the season. Something like that do Manchester United need now? I
don't think Man United are in any danger of going down. I think now to sign a player, I think unless it's someone they really want, I don't think they should even spend that money. I think they should wait until the summer. They've got some players there, some youngsters they've got off Arsenal. I forgot the striker's name now, but Heaven has just gone there. Maybe try some of them young players out, some of the players in the academy. Because right now, there's a lot of players there that he is not interested in. There's a lot of players now that they don't look like they can even play in that formation, being a 3-4-3. Again, the only ones that look like a dead-on certainty, Diallo, Bruno Fernandes, Ugarte, and then Euro, who they just signed. Apart from that, everyone's on trial there. I don't see any cutting edge going forward. Like, even at the end there, they're playing good football, they're keeping the possession. But when they get to the final third, it's like they're treading water, they don't know what to do with it. But again, Amorim, I think now, will be looking at players that he could potentially get in the summer and start talking to the ownership and the sporting director, whoever it may be, to get players out, start looking for possible destinations for the players that he don't fancy.
We will talk more about Manchester United and Crystal Palace in just a moment as well, but let's hear